Woody's World today is about officiating.
Okay. Am I going to have to drive you home now because you can't find your car keys?
Well, somebody is. What, you think I'm going to walk home? Officiating, and I've talked about it a little bit this week, and I heard a guy on KOA last night. I don't know his name who does nighttime sports on there, and he was talking about you got to go back and change calls. Let me take you back to 1977, including that young man. In the AFC Championship game, Rob Lytle takes a handoff at about the 4-yard line. He fumbles it. But the officials don't call it. There's no replay at that time. The Broncos go on and win the game barely over the Oakland Raiders. I met with John Madden during the offseason because he was a good friend of mine, Bob King's, the late Bob King. And we met in that round tower right next to Old Mile High Stadium. They're building
the hotel,
condos,
you mean?
Yeah.
The round hotel.
And they're now building condos in there, I think. And there was a restaurant at the top, and he was telling me, he said, that was the worst call in history. He said, it was obvious. We've looked at the tapes 1,000 times. He fumbled it on the way down. And that really led the NFL to bringing in instant replay. It took years and years. That combined with a Houston Oilers Pittsburgh Steelers game where there was a question about the touchdown or whether the Houston Oilers player got in bounds. Those two plays really led to instant replay. And it's been proven over and over again that instant replay really does work. It shows that the officials are right about 85% of the time, and then instant replay takes care of another 12 or 14%. So why in the world we changed the overtime rules and we saw them work? The first time was the Denver Broncos, and they go for a touchdown. And players thought the game continued because they thought the other team, no, if you score a touchdown, the game's over. But if you score a field goal, which I always thought field goals shouldn't win a game in overtime, we continue to evolve in the National Football League. You have the concussion protocol. Well, let's continue to evolve. Let's do it right now. Let's don't have another situation like Dallas and Detroit. I mean, every day there's a new announcement by the NFL saying, well, we got this call wrong. You know, Sue was guilty of holding at the end. Well, if Detroit goes for it on 4th and 1, we're not even talking about that play. They could have gone for it after that play happened with all the defensive holding, with the interference, with the face mask grabbing, with Des Bryant coming on the field. There were 4 penalties on the play, and they didn't get one of them. Why don't you give the coaches an extra challenge? They get it for the 4th quarter. It can't be used before the 4th quarter. And it can only be used in situations that involve everything. Holding on offense, defensive holding, pass interference, ball spotting, whatever it is. Hey, I want a challenge that we just saw holding out there. Okay, the rest of the year, but when you get to the playoffs and the games are so meaningful, open it up to everything. I want to challenge the outfit you're wearing, Hockley. I want to challenge your calls afterward. When you get on the microphone and you're doing 5 minutes at the Comedy Works, what is that all about? So the NFL could do it right now. They could do it before the championship games and not have situations that have occurred throughout the history of the game. So NFL, and I know you're not going to do it before this weekend. You're not going to do it this year. But next year, look at what happened in Dallas and Detroit. Look what's going to probably happen this Saturday and Sunday in the games. Something's going to happen. And let's open up the 4th quarter to looking at everything so we get it 100% right. That's Woody's World.
I got
Brought to you by Wow
by Wow Furniture.
I thought you were going to do your thing.
No.
What is it?
You know,
I'm trying to get it right.
I get where you're coming from on the commentary. I get that. We want to get the calls right, and we
Isn't that
have
all it's for?
we have the technology to get just about all the calls right nowadays. But what you're asking them to change what are essentially judgment calls. You know, when a player takes the ball over the goal line, we can see exactly where the ball is and whether or not it's a touchdown. The pass interference call is a judgment call. It's a judgment call. I'm
Where
sorry.
they placed the
a holding
football-
call is a judgment call. And why the NFL came out and said Ndamukong Suh held on that play after the fact, I don't know. There's holding on every play on both sides
Scoring
of the
a
line.
touchdown.
Is not a judgment call.
Did you see the
It's
call?
it's an objective call.
oh,
It's a
Buffalo
rules. It's a
dung.
rules call.
I call
okay?
Buffalo dung on you. I watched a game on
Buffalo
Sunday
dung?
where the ball was fumbled on the goal line.
Right.
That was a judgment call. Les, you can't
No,
sit
no,
here,
no, no.
you
but
can't
it-
sit here and say that
but
wasn't
it's
a
not.
judgment call.
But it's not.
And
He
then
either
they found out
fumbled
he'd
it.
fumbled
He either
before
fumbled
he
it
got-
at the goal line, or he got in time and put
It's
the
a
ball
judgment
over.
call.
No, it's
And
not.
they go
Wood.
back and go, your judgment was wrong. It was a fumble.
Well,
it was a
I
touchdown
think you're
before it
opening
was a fumble.
you're opening a real Pandora's box here.
No, I'm
Not
not.
only that,
I am
if
talking
you're-
about what
if
you
you're-
said in the beginning.
if you're
Get it
reviewing-
right.
And if
Get
you're
it right.
reviewing everything in the fourth quarter, these games are going to go 4
No,
hours.
no. One challenge.
Oh, one challenge.
By
Okay.
the coach.
Kinda like baseball.
On anything that he says, and I was being somewhat facetious about the Hockley and stuff, but I think there was pass interference on that play.
Okay.
They look at it like they look at everything else, and they come back and go, there was not enough to overrule what we
You know,
called.
I get it. I get it. I also have a problem with
And it's
taking.
not
I
the,
have a
it's
problem with
not
taking the game out of
officials.
the officials' call. Look, we're human. All right, we're all human.
We've taken
Okay.
it out of the officials. Oh, you've got me going here. And this is not because of television. This is, if we were in the car, I'd be kicking your ass.
Do the
right
Lewis
now.
Black thing at me right now.
No.
Point at me. Come
You
on.
said,
Give me the crooked finger.
You were so wrong. I'd love to say a curse word there. You were so wrong because you go, oh, don't want to take it out of the officials'
I
hands.
don't want the games
Wait,
to get
let me
bogged
finish.
down.
Let me finish, please. We've taken it out of the officials' hands. There's a whole wall of TV sets in New York City. There are guys that work for the NFL office, that work in PR, and they work in advertising, and they go in that room on Sunday. Do you know how this works?
Yes.
Well, I'm
Tell
saying that
everybody else,
hypothetically.
yeah.
And there's a guy who's like a man who's an executive at the NFL, and he's in the background. And these people are watching screens of games, and they'll go, "We got one here." He comes over, and they talk about it, and they talk about it with the referee. It's already been taken out of the officials' hands. It's being done in New York City in a building that I walk past every day when I was working there.
Same way hockey does it that way as well. They have a
Hockey-
centralized.
and baseball's
yeah, a
doing it now.
centralized deal.
So we're out of the officials' hands. The officials are not making the calls, Les. Those calls. So why in the world, if we're doing that, they moved it to New York. Even though he goes under the hood, as is said, the referee's not making the call. They're telling him, guess what? You were wrong. Change it. So I'm saying to
Do
you.
they, wait. When they say it, do they go, Do they actually
Yeah,
do that?
Yeah. And Hockley, you just Hockley'd again. And
That's what it's called. It's a Hockley.
Yeah.
It's a Hockley.
And that started with the San Diego Broncos game. They tell him, you are wrong, Ed. And instead of a buzzer. Why not? Okay. I challenge that Sue was holding on that play. They look at it just like they look where the ball was. They say, yes, he was holding. We change it. It's just like everything we do now. And the official's not making a
All right,
call.
you know
a
what?
guy in New York is making
So
a
you
call.
want one challenge every fourth quarter? I'm okay with that.